Are you a strong, healthy, smart, cool kid? I know you are, but did you know that 6 to 7
million kids get unalived every year?
If you want to stay safe, make sure to like and subscribe and I'll protect you.
Yay, the queen has uploaded again after a year.
Follow me on Roblox if you want to play. I can't chat though because of the new update and I hope Roblox removes it. Alright dearies, raise your hands if you love going to the theme park and going on crazy rides like at Wonderland or Disney World. I love it too because it's so thrilling. And listen, this is gonna sound weird, but I actually like the feeling of falling to my doom. Yeah, weird, right? I mean, obviously I don't want to actually fall to my doom, it's just that when I'm falling, I get this weird feeling in my chest, and it's kinda exciting. For some reason, this feeling also happens to me when I jump off high buildings in Roblox. Isn't that so weird? Like, is something wrong with me? Some rides are really dangerous though, like the one that goes up and down, and it's so dangerous. An innocent kid named Tyre Sampson was unalived in a crazy accident during this ride. Let's see what happened.
This 14-year-old boy died at an amusement park. This is Tyre Sampson, a gentle giant who plunged to his death at an amusement park in Orlando, Florida. He stood at 6 foot 5 inches tall and weighed over 300 pounds. The 14-year-old had reportedly been turned away from at least 2 other rides at the park because of his size. The accident happened at Icon Park, where the 430-foot freefall ride is a popular attraction. Now in Europe, the maximum passenger weight on the ride is 287 pounds. However, in the US, there is no restriction. Experts have said he was not fit or suitable for the ride, and if he had been contained, then he'd still be alive.
Genuinely horrifying, guys. Basically, this guy was just really big, and the American safety standards had like literally no safety standards for this ride. And because of the bad safety from the ride runners, he ended up passing away. This is gross and extremely irresponsible from the theme park owners. Like, what were they thinking? I hope the parents sued them and won a lot of money or something at least. But no matter how much money they win, nothing will fix losing a family member. When Tyre Sampson fell, the incident was captured on video, but I don't want to watch that, guys. That's disrespectful. But I did find this image, and look, you can literally see that the ride's harness isn't locked in properly. Oh, come on, I'm not an expert at anything. And even I can see that's gonna cause disaster. After this incident, his friend said Tyre realized his belt was open, but felt it was too late. So he told his friend to tell his mom and said that he loves them. Those were his last words. Please try to remember to check all safety belts whenever you go on a ride or even in a car. Also, make sure to wear a helmet when you ride a bike. Make sure to check both ways before crossing the road and make sure to stay safe. Because if you don't stay safe, I'll get mad at you. Do you love car rides? They're pretty fun as long as you're not sitting for too long. Because honestly, when I'm sitting for so long and we get back home, as soon as I try to move, I feel like a grandma. Also, you know, when you fall asleep in a car, then when you wake up, it just feels like you teleported. I actually don't like cars though, because I think they're really big, scary metal machines. No, not like Freddy. Well, actually kinda like Freddy, just not as handsome. Cars are dangerous though, and you should always wear your seatbelt and make sure the person driving isn't blind, cause that doesn't sound like a good idea. Also be careful you don't get chased by a crazy maniac in a speedy car chase who's trying to oof ya. Because that's what happened to this innocent group of kids who unfortunately lost their lives.
So this little dude, let's call him 16, because he's 16. Now 16 is in the back seat of a car, and it's going 100 miles an hour. And he's being chased by a maniac, and he is scared out of his mind. So one night, it's 16's birthday, and he's hanging out with a group of friends and their younger brothers. And there's 6 of them, and
6 of them, you say?
collectively, we'll just call them the boys. So the boys are hanging out one night, they're having a sleepover, and they start playing a game where they dare each other to do stuff. And eventually, it's this kid's turn. We'll just call him Mooney. So it's Mooney's turn to be dared, and one of the boys dares him to play Ding Dong Ditch, and Mooney agrees.
Explaining Dorkable here to explain. Ding Dong Ditch is a silly game where you ring someone's doorbell, then run away. Yeah, it's basically just being annoying.
Now, one of the boys has a car. We'll call him Driver. So all 6 of them pile into Driver's car and they cruise around the neighborhood looking for a house. And boom, that's when they find the perfect one. They know the kid that lives there, he's a friend, he'll think it's funny. So Driver stops the car and Mooney gets out and he runs up to the door to ring the doorbell. Meanwhile, inside the house, the homeowner, who we'll just call Mad Max. Max has really been trying to relax. It's been a long week, he's been drinking all night, he just wants to be left alone. And suddenly, Max's doorbell rings, jolting him awake. And he's like, who in the is ringing my doorbell this late? So he goes to the door and he opens it, and that's when he sees Mooney's bare butt mooning him.
What? Excuse me, buddy? I think that's a crime. And the game is called Ding Dong Ditch, not Ding Dong Here's My Bum.
And Mooney laughs and he runs away, and Max does not think this is funny. So he rushes outside, but Mooney, he's already made it back to the car. Now, it's around this point when the boys see Max, I'm guessing, that they suddenly realize this house isn't their friend's house. It's a stranger's house. They ding-dong ditched the wrong person.
Oh no, they're cooked.
So they realize this and they're like, oh,
Darn.
and they speed away. And they're down the road a bit, probably laughing, talking about what just happened. And all of a sudden, bam, driver sees headlights in his rearview mirror. Someone's behind him. No big deal, probably just a car passing. But this car starts getting close. And one of the boys in the car finally realizes it's Max, the guy from the house they just pranked. Oh my god, he's following us! So they start yelling at driver to make it to the freeway, because they think maybe they can lose Max there.
I think the best thing to do here is to just park your car somewhere safe, but I don't drive, guys, so if you drive, let me know what you're supposed to do.
So driver heads to the freeway, and Max speeds up right behind him. And then, pow! Max nudges their car with his car. So they go faster and try to escape, but Max just keeps speeding up behind them. And they are freaking out. And then boom, Max rams his car into the back of the boy's car really hard. He rams him so hard, in fact, that driver's head whips into the window and he blacks out. Driver who's now passed out, and they are terrified. And that is when Max's car pushes their car off the road and into a tree.
I really hope this dude goes to jail forever. Let's see if he got caught.
And the car is totaled, and the boys are messed up really bad. Meanwhile, back at the crash site, paramedics arrive, and they find the boys, and there are 6 of them. 3 of them have moderate injuries, but the other 3 are in critical condition. And unfortunately, those 3 don't make it. There were multiple bystanders who saw it happen, and at least one of them sees Max driving away, and they decide to follow him all the way to his house, and they report him to the police. So police, they go to Max's house, they arrest him, here's his mugshot. So Max goes to trial, he's found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder, and he's sentenced to life.
True, I'm so glad there was some justice for once, because he got life in prison, which is like, forever. It's really sad that those kids went from a group of 6 friends to 3, and they didn't even do something super bad. This Max dude was probably mad someone stole his brain rot or something and just wanted to attack someone. But he's like 50 years old, don't old people play like League of Legends or World of Warcraft? But anyway, one thing you should remember is that you shouldn't mess with people because you never know how crazy someone might be. Maybe the person you made fun of yesterday is secretly planning a villain arc and you're chapter 1. Alright guys, I'm gonna give you a quick history lesson, so I hope you paid attention in school. Do you know when we learned to make fire? It was 400,000 years ago. Like, whoa, that's crazy, right? This was back when we were literally cavemen and cavewomen. But it seems that we still haven't learned to control fire that well, considering over 300,000 home fires happen every year. Unfortunately, this family had a house fire and only half of their kids survived. It's such a sad story, but you gotta watch this to keep your house safe from fires.
A family ran from their burning home in the middle of the night. The parents and 4 kids escaped, but 5 children never made it out. After the fire died down, rescuers searched the ash, but no remains were found. Experts said the blaze was so hot it completely cremated them, but it only burned for 45 minutes, which isn't long enough to turn bones into ash. Now, some thought the kids had been kidnapped, and others even claimed to see the children alive hundreds of miles away. The parents never stopped searching, convinced the fire wasn't the end of their children, but they have never been found.
Okay, this dude didn't give any information at all, so I'll do it, I guess. This is called the Sodder Children Disappearance Story. It's an old mystery from 1945, and it took place on Christmas Eve. Whoa, spooky, this would have been perfect to talk about in my Christmas episode. Anyway, on Christmas Eve, a fire destroyed the Sodder family house, and unfortunately only the parents and 4 kids made it out safe. 5 kids vanished forever, and at first people thought they got unalived by the fire, but then things began to unravel and become more creepier. First of all, weeks before the incident, they were getting threatening phone calls from anonymous people. And then, during the fire, the family's truck wasn't working. Their ladder was missing and the phone lines were cut. Kinda sus, and almost like it was all intentional by some bad guy. After the fire, the 5 missing kids weren't found in the house unalived as everyone expected, just missing as if someone took them. My gosh, this is creepy. A lot of people thought the kids got stolen, and unfortunately, the mystery was never solved. I think we gotta call Scooby-Doo to solve this mystery, or can you solve it? Let me know if you have a good idea for what really happened. Enough about fires, let's go back to cars for a second because I still think they're dangerous. What can I say, guys? Cars are my actual ops. Anyway, would you risk your life to save your little brother or sister? What about your bestie? Well, that's what this brave girl did for 2 kids she didn't even know. Let's see how brave she was. And please be respectful, guys. Okay? If you're not respectful, I'm gonna tell your mom.
This 10-year-old girl saved 2 lives, but lost her own. Kira Larson was just 10 years old, living in a quiet California neighborhood. She was spirited, protective, and full of love for her family and friends. And that love would soon be tested in the most unimaginable way. On February 22nd, 2016, Kira was watching 2 younger children ages 1 and 2 playing nearby. Everything seemed peaceful, until it wasn't. A parked SUV began speeding towards the unsuspecting toddlers. Time seemed to freeze as the vehicle gained speed and headed straight for the children. In that moment, Kira didn't hesitate. Without a second thought for her own safety, she sprinted towards the children, pushing them out of harm's way. But Kira wasn't fast enough to save herself. The SUV struck her with brutal force, pinning her underneath. The laughter of the kids playing was replaced by panicked screams as neighbors rushed to the scene. Kira was then taken to the hospital, but the injuries were way too severe. The brave little girl who had just saved 2 lives didn't survive. Her community was left shattered, but filled with awe at her heroism. Kira was recognized as a true hero, her sacrifice an act of love and courage few could fathom.
First of all, the crunch sound was totally unnecessary and kinda rude. Also, did he really have to show it 3 times? But you see what I mean when I say cars are dangerous, right? Because this car was parked and it was still able to do a lot of harm to others. This girl was such an amazing person and so thoughtful of others. A person like this is a true friend, guys, and I wish she was still with us. If we had more people like her in the world would be such a great place. Instead of her, we have people who scam kids on Roblox with brain rot live streams asking for disco balls. Now, we ain't doing that, I was just kidding. Let's pause for a second, guys. Are you worried about paying your bills? No, right? Because that's what adults worry about. You're probably thinking about what you're gonna wear for school, or what you're gonna eat, or what game you're gonna play. And that's a good thing because you're a kid. Forget about responsibilities. You gotta live life for fun right now. Worrying can come when you're old and bald. I wish all kids lived happily, but unfortunately some grew up too fast because of their life situation, and it wasn't even their choice. For this one little girl, she found out her friends were not her friends after all. They were her ops, and they got her. They got her forever. Oh boy, this is a creepy story. Don't get too scared now. I'm right here.
Imagine you're 12 years old, and your biggest worry is what outfit to wear to school, not being lured into the woods by people you thought were your friends. This is the story of Shanda Scherer, a 12-year-old from New Albany, Indiana, whose life was stolen on January 11, 1992. It's one of the most brutal crimes in American history, and her killers were teenage girls. It started with jealousy. Melinda was angry Shanda had a crush on her ex, Amanda. So she gathered 3 girls, Lori, Hope, and Tony, and came up with a twisted plan. They tricked Shanda into coming out. Then they beat her, locked her in a car trunk, and drove around all night while she begged for help. Just before dawn, in a remote field near Madison, Indiana, they doused her in gasoline and set her on fire, alive. All 4 girls were arrested, but all have since been released. But Shanda is gone forever.
I want answers. You hear me? I want answers. In what world is it fair that they're all free to go for something that should be a perma-ban from society? Like, come on, we ban people in video games for saying 6'7". Why are these girls free to go? The 12-year-old isn't free to go, she's gone forever. Ugh, so annoying. Y'all gotta be aware of this for your safety. Because these criminals are out on the streets now, living their life, probably scamming people because they aren't allowed to get jobs anymore. So, if you live in West Virginia, ask your parents about the Sauter family incident, and be careful because these pyromaniacs might be down your street. Do you love your mom? I bet you do. Moms are great. They make us food, they help us learn, they let us secretly spend their credit card on Roblox. Oh, well, just don't tell my mom I do that. But the thing is, guys, not all moms are good. I know that's it's hard to imagine, but my friend's mom deleted Roblox off her phone and installed a math game instead. That is so evil. But it's not as evil as this mom who froze her kid and unalived her. And before we begin, I have to tell you that this is based on a real-life incident.
How heartless could a mother be to freeze her 5-year-old daughter to death, only thinking about being with other men? She wasn't even the slightest bit sad at her daughter's funeral. Instead, she felt relieved that she no longer had the burden of her daughter. She could finally start a better life and marry someone else. But her daughter, Mary, thought her mother was very kind to her. Even up until the moment of her death, she smiled while thinking of her mother. Mary said she wanted to be with her mother forever and that she loved her mother the most. Then she closed her eyes. Now, Mary had arrived at the Death Bureau in the afterlife, a place that receives those who died from murder, illness, or accidents. The people here would investigate the cause of their death before deciding whether they should go to heaven or hell. The staff had already investigated Mary's case and believed she had been killed by someone. They thought a 5-year-old child couldn't have committed any crimes, so they decided she should go to heaven. However,
So this is like a judgment place? Like the Day of Judgment, kinda?
Mary said she couldn't go to heaven. She felt she wasn't a good child and often made her mother unhappy. But the truth was, her mother was the one who always scolded and beat her. Mary, however, insisted that her mother was very gentle, and she wanted to be her daughter again in her next life. Hearing this, the staff could no longer hold back their tears. They didn't want to tell Mary the truth, as the picture book she always held was a birthday gift from her mother. It was clear that Mary loved her mother very much, even though she had suffered her mother's beatings and had died because of her. Yet she still thought her mother was kind to her. In the end, the staff arranged for Mary to go to heaven. They kindly lied to her, saying she would be able to see her mother soon in heaven. However, the staff's true thoughts were that they wanted Mary to be reincarnated and find a good mother. At the end of the story, the evil mother received her comeuppance. She was slapped repeatedly by the staff of Mary's kindergarten. The staff were heartbroken as they heard Mary constantly praise her mother, only to discover she was such a wicked person. Yet, the mother still felt she had done nothing wrong, saying it was her daughter, and she had no responsibility. The staff called her a murderer. Suddenly, the police arrived, stating that Mary had been arrested.
This anime is called Ministry of Death, and it's based on a real-life incident in Japan. So in Japan, teachers aren't allowed to report bad parents, and if they do, they get punished, which makes no sense. The evil mom got a few years in prison, but that was it. The next time you see your mom, give her a hug and tell her you love her, because not everyone has a great mom. For our final scary story, let's talk about the Marland incident of Romekia Sims. Basically, a mom swings her kid on the swing until they literally die. It's the worst ride ever. If you can watch this without getting scared, I'll give you 6 or 8 cookies.
This is a real case that shocked Maryland in 2015. A mother took her 3-year-old son to the park one Wednesday morning. She placed him on a swing and started pushing. Nothing unusual so far, but then she never left. Witnesses saw them at the park Thursday, still on the same swing. The mother pushing, the child sitting quietly. People assumed they were just spending quality time together. Friday morning, someone thought, wait, weren't they here yesterday? They called the police. When officers arrived, they found the mother still pushing. The child was still in the swing, but he wasn't moving. He had been dead since Thursday morning. Here's the twist. The medical examiner determined the boy was alive when his mother first put him on the swing Wednesday. He survived through the first night, but as the second night came, temperatures dropped. The child, wearing no jacket, died from cold and dehydration while his mother continued pushing him, completely unaware. She had spent 44 hours in that park. Her mind had broken down so severely, she didn't realize her son had died.
So after this horrible incident, the doctors found out the mom had schizophrenia, which basically means your brain can fully gaslight you. Like reality says one thing, and your mind is like, nah, we're doing something else today. To the mom, her son wasn't gone. In her head, he was just chilling on the swing, having a normal park day. So she stayed there pushing the swing, thinking she was doing regular mom activities, when in reality, something was terribly wrong. That's why this case is so disturbing, but also really sad. It wasn't neglect in the usual sense or someone being heartless. Her brain straight up hit the wrong settings menu. Because of that, the court ruled she wasn't criminally responsible and focused on treatment instead of punishment. Honestly, it's one of those stories where you stop laughing real quick and realize how serious mental illness actually is. It's dark, tragic, and a reminder that the brain can be the scariest thing of all. But I still think Freddy is scarier. Let me know what video scared you and what I should talk about next. I gotta go complain about the new Roblox update. Make sure to like and subscribe, and feel free to join my group or follow my Roblox account. I'll see you next time. Toodles.